advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, and welcome in, everybody. It's Saturday morning. It's time for Gardening Inside Out. Next week, it'll be coming to you 1 hour earlier because we got to spring forward this week, right, David Bates?
Well,
it's still going to come on at 8 o'clock, but it's going to be an hour earlier.
We will have altered hour clocks,
yes.
and somehow we will survive.
And we will.
This thing that we don't know why we do it, but we do it. Nonetheless, welcome in, everyone. Glad to see you all today, and we're going to get right into the weather. We have had a run of really wonderful weather. We've got a couple of days here where it kind of chills out just a bit, but it's going to improve rapidly by the beginning of the week. Today is, of course, Saturday, and it's going to be pretty much a cloudy day today. Not cold, but certainly not balmy warm. 52 for the high, 35 for the overnight low. It will clear out tomorrow, and we're going to get into about the same temperature range, but it's going to be sunny. And that trend will continue on into Monday, 63, 36 on Monday. Tuesday, a few clouds move in, 68, 44. And warmer still Wednesday and Thursday, 72, 51 Wednesday, 76, 60 on Thursday. And, of course, a few showers move in as we get to the end of the week. 70, 53 on Friday. It's currently 50 degrees, and that temperature really will change very little today. I will show you quickly what we've gotten precipitation-wise on our weather station here. We got 3,500ths of an inch of rain earlier this morning. We've had about an inch and 37 for this week, 233 for the month, and we're just shy of 12 inches for the year already.
Wow.
Not even 2.5 months into the year. So we're really rocking along nicely on rainfall. And again, 50 degrees here in the Music City, live from the green room at Bates Nursery.
What is our total for average per year for rainfall?
Our average rainfall total is generally about 38, 39 inches for the year. So we are
well on the
trending
way.
above the average. But you can figure we get 3.5 to 3 3/4 inches on average per month. Right now, of course, we're well over 4 inches. But sometimes July and August even that out to the extent. But enough of that weather stuff. We're going to get on with what's going on today because we've got a busy show. We've got a lot of people who have a lot of questions, and we're going to do everything we can to get into them. Say good morning to Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen this morning. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Also say hello to Tyler Blankenship, who keeps us going, gets us on the air, and tries to keep us in line. Good luck with that latter part, especially.
Hey, and we've already got Jude, Colin, Alita, Donna, and Sam watching. So, hey, welcome in, everybody.
Hey, Sam.
Hi. Good morning, y'all.
Hey, everybody.
We also have some photo questions from emails that Caroline will be getting to later, too.
Yes, we do.
All right.
We've got a packed show today.
Yeah, like 20-something questions.
We do. Do we have anything to talk about the nursery before we dive in, or something that's going on?
Y'all, we're full.
It's
We
full.
are full up. We got trucks this week. I mean, to tell you.
Did the
Every
Isley
day is
truck
full.
come?
Isley came.
Isley is here.
Oh, it looks good.
Tyler put some photos up on the Bates Instagram of some of the Isley arrivals that are stunning.
A lot of really pretty conifers. And hey, y'all, those Japanese maples are waking up. And that new growth on the maples it's so good. It's so good.
It's worth coming out just to walk around and look at them.
Yeah.
And you can do it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We're
That's
open
right.
tomorrow. 12 to 4 we'll be here.
Noon to
Yes,
4.
we will.
Everybody keep that in mind. And it does feel like that spring is rolling out a little early this year, does it not?
It does.
I mean, it's hopefully, I don't normally wish for it to be one way or another, but if whatever direction it goes in, just kind of stay on that. One thing you really hate to see is a lot of early warmth that pushes a lot of flowers and new growth, and then
Easter bunny
freezing
clipper.
temperatures happen, and so hopefully we can avoid that, but probably not. It usually gets us. That's just the way it is.
Yep. Yeah, what is it tomorrow? Tomorrow night's like 29 or something?
Is it really? I didn't know
Chance
that.
of frost.
I think so, yeah.
Keeps getting lower.
I know.
So no doubt we'll be doing some irrigation light freeze protection tomorrow morning as we proceed into this little cold spell here. But that's just the way that it is. Maybe if not then, and maybe Monday morning from Sunday night, which is like probably the night where it's going to really get a bit colder. So when it clears out. So, but that's kind of par for the course. I mean, we're not unaccustomed to dealing with that, are we, Austin? I mean, but fortunately, it's in a range where we don't have to worry about moving things inside too much or doing a lot of covering. Irrigation will handle it, and things are not so flushed out and juiced up where that they're really tender right now. Only a few things.
Yeah. And what Dave is talking about is we're going to irrigate. So that means we're going to keep everything wet, and it's going to freeze, but it's going to freeze really right at about 32. And that morning when you come in, whenever we irrigate and it's frosty and everything's like frozen, it looks so cool. The nursery looks so cool when we come in.
Yeah, and what people don't realize is, and why that works is it keeps it, as you mentioned, at 32 degrees. And while 32 degrees is the freezing point of water, it's also the melting point of ice. So what you do is you create this little microclimate that's right against the foliage and the flowers, and it provides a layer of insulation. Now, it's a lot easier for us to do that in a horticultural nursery environment where we have systems that can supply a continuous and copious amount of water until the temperatures get up above freezing. A lot more difficult to do that at your home. So if you have concerns about a few things, might want to break out some sheets. I don't know that you need to do much more than that because it's not going to be severely cold, or even how many things that are really of concern that are in your garden.
What about tulips?
Probably are not all that many right now. So certainly things such as all your daffodils and tulips that might be showing some color, forsythia, those are all pretty adept at dealing with the cold weather. So you don't really have to worry about those much.
Yeah. No, they'll be fine.
Because
So let's roll on to the questions. What do you say, guys?
I say let's do it. We
Yep.
got a lot of questions about vegetables and herbs, which we got another shipment in here at the nursery. So let's go ahead and start with those today. What is the appropriate time of year to cut back culinary sage in a raised bed? My sage is 18 to 20 inches tall right now.
Wow.
That's a big, tall sage.
I wonder if that's new
is.
growth or if that's old
Last
growth
year's,
from
yeah.
last year.
Probably
Yeah.
last year's. I had one that was up. It wasn't quite that tall, but it was like a shrub. It was pretty gorgeous.
And they
too.
can certainly get that way. And if if it's fine, if it looks good and your foliage is okay, then I guess leave it up. I mean, I don't see any reason really to cut it unless it looks kind of bad. If you're starting to see new growth like from the base and it's wanting to kind of take over that old growth, then I guess you can cut back the old stuff. But I mean,
Yeah.
It doesn't taste very good now.
Yeah.
So the new stuff is what tastes the best.
I would give mine a cut back about this time of year when I had it. But I love that plant. Mine bloomed pink. No, sorry, it was purple. Ooh, it's early. It was gorgeous. So we're going to talk about lemongrass next. And I guess this person actually overwintered their lemongrass, which I've talked with Celeste down in our greenhouse about quite a bit because she likes to overwinter hers. So someone is asking, how soon can I replant my lemongrass? I'd say it's a little bit early right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit early. Lemongrass is certainly a grass that really likes it warm. I mean, it absolutely explodes if you've ever grown lemongrass before. You can start from a little bitty small plant, and then by the end of the season, see a big old plant.
I mean, it looks like pampas grass once it gets
really
big.
does.
Like,
Like it
it's
gets huge in the season, but it really needs those warm temps to really jump. So it's early, like Caroline said, it's early. We don't even have any yet. So I mean, it's not something that you really want to get out too early. It's just not going to move.
I usually put it with my like tomatoes and stuff once I put that out.
It might be a month before we have much of that because it's just like you say, it's really a warm season plant, and it doesn't benefit you anything. If you had it right now, the cool weather is not its friend. It needs to be, once you start pushing it, it needs to continue to push. You don't need to be having these setbacks with frost and freezes.
Yeah. There's no reason to jump the gun on that.
Yeah. You've got it inside. Just baby it for a little bit longer. There's no reason to lose all that hard work that you've done over the winter.
Yeah.
So moving on to strawberry plants. We got a couple about that. It's a hot topic right now.
Strawberries.
Strawberries. All right. Can I plant strawberry starts in the ground now, or should I wait until after last frost?
Nope. Do it now. Strawberries don't even care about a frost. They're an evergreen perennial. Literally. Like they stay up and evergreen and they come back year to year. Okay. So you can get them in now. We have some now. We have a good amount. I think, now. Yeah.
We've got a couple trays of them.
It's time to get them in. Get them growing. They're going to flower and fruit here soon. So yeah, go ahead and do it.
And hey, Rutherford County, I hear Beatty Farms is not growing strawberries this year. So that's the no. They're doing soil rotation or something, I think.
Oh, okay.
So very good. Good thing. But that's a strawberry patch for Rutherford County. So, yeah.
Is that off of that spot off 840? Yeah. I've seen that spot.
Great farm.
That's what
Great
we
people.
call Portland South. Or
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
Hey,
All right.
yourself. Hey.
Hey, let's stick on the strawberry topic. Do all strawberry varieties do well in pots or hanging baskets?
Both.
Yeah, it seems like they would. I feel like strawberries will grow anywhere.
They will, but I will say, like, strawberries do, they send out, what do you call them, runners, okay? So they will outgrow a pot if you leave them in there for too long. So it is probably good practice to move those every once in a while, or at least move them up into a bigger pot. But in a hanging basket, they're great because those runners do go out and they fall down, on the sides of the pot. You can harvest those and replant them elsewhere, or just leave them to be little dangles.
Little dangles.
And unlike being in a strawberry jar where they're very difficult to get out, a hanging basket, you can just take the wires off and invert it and split those up and replant. Strawberry jars are great and they look extremely cool, but they get in there and they get growing and they're going to take up that soil space, and getting them out of there, if you ever want to thin them, is a bit more of a chore in that kind of a planter situation. I'm not saying don't do it. Just be apprised of the difficulty that might be involved with it when you get to that point. Hanging basket's a whole lot easier to get them out of, simply because it's a tapered type of container and it slides out pretty easily.
I wish I had planted my strawberries in a pot instead of in the ground.
Would you use the coconut lining on a hanging pot for that? Would that be a good practice for that?
I guess you could.
You could if it's like one of those wire metal ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're fine. They tend to dry out a little quicker.
You got a good pro tip on that with the shirt inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use an old T-shirt.
Use an old T-shirt. We'll have to dig up that video and reshare it so everyone can see what we're talking about.
cool.
I'll just add, I built a raised bed for my strawberries.
Smart.
So
Yeah,
four-
so they don't
4x8.
take over.
Mhm.
Can you keep the squirrels out of it?
No.
You can't keep squirrels out of anything. All right, we're going to talk about lavender for a moment. Is it better to plant lavender seeds in the ground or start them indoors and then harden off?
Lavender seeds.
I've tried.
All right.
I've planted lavender seeds in the ground a couple of times. I don't have great luck with starting seeds in the ground with lavender.
I would say it would be much better to have a controlled environment, like in like seed cell flats, and plant a bunch of them, because germination.
Teeny tiny too. aren't
Yeah, I think they're small.
Oh, they're little. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, starting lavender just with a plant, honestly, is a lot. I mean, we sell little 4P lavender, y'all. It's like what, $3.99?
Couple of bucks, yeah. I mean,
it's
they're
a
not
few bucks
expensive.
to get one that's already up and growing. If you want to try from seed, though, hey, I'm all about it. I love growing anything from seed, so you can certainly try. But I would say use seed cells, a tray, and so heavy, like we talk about, so heavy, thin later. Because it can be, like I said, the germination results are not always like 100%, maybe 50.
Yeah.
So there's just this balance of like keeping them moist enough on top, but not like wet. It's kind of like peppers. They're the same way. Like it's like a 2-week at least germination time. And it's just keeping them with enough sunlight, the right moisture. Like it can be a little bit difficult, but like I said, I love you for trying. Keep it, just do it. But
Due to the lavender climate, do you think that a heat mat would help?
I don't think
with
that would hurt.
germination?
I certainly don't think that would
Yeah.
hurt. Grow lights. Need a lot of light for
All the
lavender,
stuff.
They're
people.
like sandy soil too, don't they?
At least well drained. Yeah, I don't
Something, they
Yeah.
cannot handle wet feet at all.
Yeah.
But they don't want to go powder dry either. So therein lies the difficulty.
Yeah, it is a balance.
Hey, we're going to switch back to strawberries real quick.
Okay.
We just got a strawberry question in live. So I don't need to cover my strawberries this weekend?
No,
Somebody is asking.
Don't cover them. They
said
don't. They don't
no.
want to be covered.
I haven't
don't
done
need to be
anything
tucked
to
in.
mine.
No, you don't have to do anything. Even
No.
through the whole winter, you don't have to do anything. I mean, super hardy plants. Don't cover your strawberries. They're fine.
Don't cover them. And
No.
then we got a comment from Claire. Good morning, Claire. Grass
Claire.
girl who comes out here. We saw her out here yesterday.
Grass girl, Claire Bear.
When the weather warms up, Claire is out and shopping. Claire said Austin and Caroline are absolute gems.
Yes, they
Their
are.
knowledge is worth their weight in gold. Thanks for sharing.
Aw.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
Claire.
Yeah.
Claire, you're awesome too. You
Claire's
have really
great.
cool designs. Claire does really good work, y'all. The grass girl.
Yeah.
Look, y'all need a cool design. She's very good at what she does. She will go anywhere to find cool stuff.
She will.
I mean, she showed me a picture of a yucca she got like in South Carolina to bring it back to Nashville around a pool, and it was stunning.
So she's an installer, a landscape artist?
She is
Yeah.
a landscaper, but like professional.
Okay.
Like she's good.
Her
If you want
designs are
something-
gorgeous.
Yes,
Yeah.
they really are. She does water features, rock features, any machinery. Like this girl, she is
She
a
does it all.
worker, y'all. She seriously give
good.
her a shout if you need something cool.
Yeah, she was featured in a magazine in Belmead. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was a really great article with gorgeous photos, which she took in our houseplant greenhouse. And oh my gosh, she was wearing the cutest dress. But yeah, shout out Claire. We love you here.
We do. She's awesome.
All right, so our
We
next
do fashion.
we do fashion here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. That is right. Our next question, I think you guys are just really into this heated debate we've had going on lately about vines. So, our next question, the snow killed my jasmine. What good alternative climbing plant for an arbor? Y'all know what I'm going to say.
Here we go.
Crossvine.
Crossvine.
Ah.
Yes. Up all year,
Thank you,
native,
Caroline.
gorgeous.
I think crossvines are extremely underutilized. They have so many great attributes, not the least of which is the fact that they are evergreen. They are the ones that we sell typically are not the straight up natives, but they are decidedly non-invasive. And that really, that's one of the big problems with a lot of vining type of plants is that they just grow too fast.
Right.
Or once they get established. So bignonia or crossvines are very good at staying within their bounds, retaining their foliage year round, and also having flowers. So I think
Now for
those
the answer to that argument, Austin, take the floor.
Hey, grow clematis.
Okay.
I mean, I do love my clematis. Hey, by the way, my
You
clematis
do.
is leafing out. My
Mine is
Germania.
too.
Yeah, it's
I thought
it's
it
an
was
early
dead.
leafer. So I left the sticks about halfway up, and they're cracking from the sticks from last year, but they're also cracking from the ground.
Cool.
And they're sending up new growth from the dirt. So hey, I love clematis. God,
It is a
so
gorgeous
many
one.
colors. So many colors.
I just wish it stayed green. There is an evergreen one that I tried once. And I lost it.
You know, evergreen clematis, it kind of lives ugly over the winter. So it's like, what the point?
It lives ugly.
I mean, it does. It lives ugly. It's like I'm
They
beautiful
do
in
pretty
the spring
well
and summer.
They do pretty well in Memphis or in Huntsville, Birmingham, but here calling them evergreen is pretty marginal.
They
Hey,
smell
that's the
so
thing.
good though.
They do smell good. There's a variety. What's it? Apple blossom.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful variety, and they're actually blooming in our greenhouse right now.
Okay.
You can come out here and smell them. And like I said, we just talked about that. They do stay evergreen. They keep their leaves through the winter, but they look a little rough. You know, they just kind of go like, they don't like that cold. Like we got down to 0 this year. I mean, so they are like, some of those leaves are not good.
Yeah. Not good. So that's not your favorite clematis, is
No.
what you're saying.
It's not.
No, it's not.
I
So-
like the ones that go dormant. I don't care about the wintertime leaves.
I do.
Give them up.
I don't want to give them
Spring
up.
and summer blooms is what I'm after.
But David Bates, either it's crossvine or it's clematis. What's the best
Clematis.
growing media for them?
Well, regardless
Clematis.
of what plant you choose, the first choice you need to make when you're planting anything is what kind of soil requirements they need and what can you do to give them the absolute best advantage to give them not just the ability to survive and hang on, but to really thrive in their environment. And that's what Earth Mix Garden products give you, no matter which product you choose, whether it's Earth Mix Garden, Earth Mix Proganics O, which are ready to use planting mixes. Caroline might recommend Proganics I for indoor plants. All those are ready to use right out of the bag. You don't have to do anything but just open it up and pour them in and make use of it. Then perhaps your soil is okay, but it needs some recharging, and that's where Earth Mix Supernatural will come in. And if you're planting trees or shrubs, you might consider Earth Mix Landscape. These are all 100% organic, all produced right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and they are available at independent garden centers and other independent businesses around Tennessee, Kentucky, Northern Alabama. You can really find a complete list of them if you go to Find Earth Mix on the earthmix.net website. And there you'll see a lot of pins jump up, and it will give you the map of all the locations around. You can either put in your address for turn-by-turn directions, or you can simply zoom into one of the locations near you to find those Earth Mix garden products at a location in your general vicinity there. As you can see by the map there, it's widely available, but you won't find it at box stores.
Nope.
It's only at independent merchants. So check that out at earthmix.net and click on the Find Earth Mix tab. But just remember this: success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products. And we appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that and to help take the work out of your gardening efforts, because you shouldn't have to struggle with it. You should be able to get success and to be able to do so. And Earth Mix is one of the tools that is key in making that happen. So thanks for giving us a moment to discuss.
Hey, one more quick thing on that. Can you bring that back up real quick? I want to point something out on there.
I think I can.
Okay. In the upper right-hand corner there, you see it says soil calculator. It tells you how much you need. But right above there, folks, if your independent garden center doesn't have Earth Mix products, have them click on that, because I bet you they can get it to them. So anyway.
Pretty good chance. We've even had
really good shot.
There's been inquiries from as far away as Montana.
Wow.
Don't know if that one's going to happen or not. But,
I saw a big,
because it's a long haul, but it is a product that's worth consideration, and particularly if you live in the Mid-South region. So, yes, thank you again. And, Josh, what is it you like to say?
You get the best inputs in Earth Mix, so you get the best output in your garden.
There it is.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And let's get back to the question.
Back to it. Do you have something to say?
no, I was just going to say, I saw a flatbed trailer hauling 24 pallets
Uh-oh.
of Earth Mix the other day, heading
Really?
down to Alabama.
Oh, wow. That's a
All
lot
right.
of pallets.
Yeah.
Let's go into Hannah's and Rudy's.
Yep, that was great.
Nice.
Awesome.
We'd also like to welcome Grow Appalachia. Grow Appalachia in Berea, Kentucky
Wow.
to the
Okay.
Earth Mix fold. They have Earth Mix products that they sell on their website.
Oh,
Nice.
Very cool.
I want to go visit that place.
Always glad to see new folks carrying the Earth Mix products, and we're really appreciative of the level of support that we get all over the area. So we really believe in the Earth Mix products, and we're grateful to have the ever-growing list of other sellers who also share that belief. So thank you for that.
All right.
Caroline, did you see Barbara's comment?
I did. I was about
Okay.
to wrap it back around.
Okay.
So Barbara is asking about crossvine. Let's talk about crossvine a little bit more. Barbara is saying, my arbor is not in full sun. Like the roots would be in the shade. Would crossvine work there? Yes. And then a second part to that also, would crossvine work in a pot? I believe so. It's really, really hardy. We have some in pots that we've overwintered here. They looked great over the winter.
Yeah.
Though we did have them in a greenhouse, I think it would be just fine in a pot.
Yeah, I mean, anything could be found in a pot. You know, I mean, everything's grown in a pot, so I don't see why not. You
Some
know?
stuff seems to do better, like your rose that you put in a pot did way better in a pot than in the ground here.
Roses, yeah,
Not a lot of stuff, but I did want to mention that.
yeah. My rose took a hit, man.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's so annoying.
Are you okay?
No.
He's not okay. So let's move on to a second question to get his mind off of that. So staying with vines, are there any wisterias that are not considered invasive? So something that's not going to take over your entire neighborhood.
When I was a boy,
Okay.
Oh, here we
that
go.
was way back last century. We lived in North Carolina, and we had one that was in a tree form that stayed just about 6 feet tall, bloomed reliably every single day. I mean, every single year. And then it didn't run. It didn't send out shoots. It didn't climb up the pine trees. But it must have been a unique one because that town of Wilson, North Carolina, has trees that have been just absolutely inundated with wisteria. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, wisteria can take over it can take over the woods. I mean, it can really run anywhere. And
Right.
what you're talking about is a tree form wisteria, and the way to achieve it's not a tree.
It's
okay?
not a tree.
No, it's still a vine. It's just been trained to be tree form. So they don't they don't let multiple runners
Right.
go. They pick one.
Okay.
They stake it up, and they get it to where they want it. And then at that point, they cut it, they top it, and then it sends out its stems, and that makes this tree form look.
Okay.
But it's still a vine, technically, but they have to be pruned and maintained. So I don't know if you were a boy, you may not have noticed your old daddy going out there and cutting on that thing every once in a
I
while.
promise you, the major never did any of that. I absolutely promise you.
Well,
Of course, we bought the house when he retired. So I mean, but so they may have in front.
Yeah.
We were there 4 years and never did anything to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, a tree form wisteria is absolutely stunning if you can achieve that. So
That sounds
we
gorgeous.
do sell them every once in a while as a tree form, but that's just been trained as a tree, not it's not like a different plant.
But it'll
anything.
still kind of
It'll
take
still-
over. It'll still shoot out runners.
30 feet
If
away.
you don't
yeah.
maintain it, it certainly will.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you let them go to seed, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's the kicker with wisteria is letting those things go to seed and then the seed being dispersed and then coming up. That's the invasive qualities of it, not necessarily the individual plant.
Okay.
Circling back to
So the
what
answer
variety,
is no, right? And
I
really?
mean, what about American wisteria? Is it not invasive?
I mean, it still kind of is ish. If it goes to seed and you let it go to seed and then it disperses all over the place, it can have invasive qualities. Yes.
So I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I did. Austin accidentally called it hysteria.
I did.
Yeah. And so I
Hysteria,
think that makes
wisteria.
sense because it takes over. Yeah.
Thanks for
Hysteria.
pointing that out.
You're
for
welcome.
everybody.
My wisteria's
kind
been
of a fan of
totally
it.
boring on my fence.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a sputtery
Is it
old
still
jalopy.
alive?
How old is it?
How old is it? 3 years.
There's
I
Tyler.
got it the first year at high. I got it the first year I worked at Bates, and it's still just like.
It seems like it takes wisteria for some reason a minute to move.
Oh, when we bought our first home, we planted one next to the patio to train it to grow up the vertical metal posts, and it did, and it went this way and that way, and I trained it. I put aircraft cable between them and tied it to the house and had it all the way across. We lived in that house almost 10 years. The last year we lived there was the only time it ever bloomed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least you got 1 year out of it.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Or one season.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take a while to do that.
And
They
it crushed the downpipes. It twisted the metal uprights, and it was okay.
Mine
a
at
crazy
least.
plant.
My
Mine at
neighbors
least has
had it.
bloomed already.
Well, that's
Oh,
good.
really?
That
Yes.
is good,
Got
Tyler.
Wow.
something out of it. Let's keep on blooming stuff and go to some more questions. Are Prim Roses perennial in the Nashville area? What type might work in shade or early morning sun? They do like indirect sun. I know you said you tried some down by your creek. Is that right?
Ish. Yeah. It was kind of a struggling little thing anyway. But yeah, primrose can definitely perennialize here, but they need that kind of specific environment. Okay. They want shade, they want it moist almost all the time. And they can handle a little bit of sun too. You kind of need them to have some sun as well. They're just such a specific little thing. Like what they
handle heat.
want.
Persnickety.
Yeah.
They are. Yes. And we always get them in early. Caroline's got some up in the greenhouse right now.
Yes, I do.
And they look good and they're blooming, but getting them in that right spot is really crucial for
They
the
love
primrose.
cool weather.
They do. Yeah.
they
As summer
just
draws
don't
on,
No.
Yeah, they got to have shade in the summer, but they do need the sun when it's cooler weather like right now. So
Yes.
it's, like you said, very tough to find just that right happy spot for them.
I
But
know
when
my
you do,
mom
they're great.
has had some. She had it for like 3 years in pots, and she kept them kind of under a tree canopy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty moist under there. There was a lot of pine straw, though they were in pots. I know they retained a lot of moisture. And she had them come back for like 3 or 4 years. And
Mm-hmm.
then she said 1 year they just didn't come back up. So under that tree canopy, they were happy.
nice.
Yeah. When can I transplant my iris? And then they said, thank you. You're very welcome.
You're very welcome. Yes.
Josh is
We-
looking at his watch. What time?
It's 8:30.
So they've got a little while
Yeah, they got a little bit.
till
Well,
it's 3:30.
Well, to be honest, irises are already up.
Yep.
Okay. So, we don't typically recommend you transplant when things are already up. Now, let's be clear, they're irises, like the toughest plant on the planet. So if you needed to move them now, just do it. Just do it.
You know, I actually did that on Monday. I had some that I needed to transplant, and I just said, you know what, I'm just going to do it and see what happens.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. I mean, it's kind of nice actually to do it this time of year because you have a little handle to grab onto with their leaves, so you can kind of dig them.
Grab them by the hair.
Put the shovel in and grab it and
Good
move it.
soil moisture today, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Irises are so hardy.
I love irises. They're great.
I don't.
Well,
They're not my fave. They are a state flower.
I was about to say they're a state flower. How could you not like it? You love Tennessee.
He's more of a
Your favorite
Snapdragon
song
kinda
is
guy,
Rocky
right?
Top. I mean, come on.
We got fire and
Isn't
ice
it
over there.
everybody's?
Everyone's is, yeah.
Yeah, today it is for sure.
Is it? Let's talk about milkweed.
Okay.
Is milkweed dangerous to plant in my yard? So if you're talking about it being poisonous or toxic to your pets, it is toxic. So if one of your pets were to eat it, it does have something in it that I believe it'll make them like hallucinate.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
But
Far out.
don't do that to your dog.
Frankly, there's a long list of plants that have toxic properties, whether it's hallucinogenic or otherwise. Taxus, yews, those are all hemlock. There are a wide number. There's probably more plants that have some toxic level than don't.
Yeah.
So
Morning Glory is one of them.
I have never known any. People talk about poinsettias during the holiday season. I have never known anyone's animal who ever ingested enough of it to croak.
Because it tastes nasty. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I've
the
never
thing.
had any of my pets bother my milkweed.
Well, and also too, like the monarch butterflies are the ones that eat the milkweed, and there's other insects that mimic monarch butterflies the way they look because other birds and whatever know not to eat monarch butterflies because they eat milkweed and they taste horrible and they get
Tastes yuck.
so
They get sick.
that's kind of cool.
So cool.
But no reason not to plant milkweed. Plant milkweed, y'all.
It's a great plant. And if you're maybe wondering if it's going to take over, it does reseed itself, but it's not aggressive.
It's
At
not
least
aggressive,
in my case, it hasn't been.
very attractive perennial. Also.
Same old rules with the bugs. I mean, if they're bright colored, chances are they're not going to be good for you. And fish and some of the other things around there too.
We got a second question about milkweed. Could moles have killed my rosemary and milkweed? I think they could kill anything.
They don't usually eat them though, so
No, they're not eating above the plant. They're eating
Think
below
down
it.
below, yeah.
So they make trenches around the roots and
They killed some big upright growing boxwood at the back of my house.
Did they really?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Oh.
they weren't feeding on the boxwood. They just chose to dig under them and continue
Cut
to.
the roots
And, it got dry, as
Yeah.
it will happen when you create
Air.
big, tunnels underneath them, and consequently they died. So.
yeah. And honestly,
That's
I
what
don't know. Your rosemary may look dead right now, but your milkweed's dormant. So I mean, that's coming back from the earth. It hasn't started pushing yet, so it may not be dead at all.
it's wintertime. I mean, it
exactly.
doesn't do real well. So.
And rosemary, let's be honest, it got down to 0 and even negatives with the rosemary, so it's kind of right on the line here. So that one may have kicked it.
Yeah, the ones that I had in my raised beds are toast. The ones that are right up by the house, they're fine. So.
All right, so we're going to move to our photo portion of the show. We did get some
Hey.
emails, so like we've been talking about, if you want to send in photos for us to look at on the show, gardeninginsideout@gmail.com is the place to send those. You can send them throughout the week. Try to get them in by Friday morning so we can get them preloaded and make sure we are going to be able to show them. So our first comes from our good friend Pam, who I believe is somewhere in Florida right now. Pam, good morning, Pam. So Pam says she's helping a neighbor with her beautiful garden in Hendersonville, and this weed has taken over. Do we have any suggestions that can naturally kill this weed?
Pull it out of
Your
the ground.
hands,
Yeah,
they're pretty
Pam.
natural.
Get on them hands and knees and pull it out. That's the old dead nettle, and henbit is a
Henbit.
common name. It's blooming right now.
And I
all
find that
over.
one's easy to pull up.
That one's easy to pull. Yeah, you're right. You can grab the whole clump and get it all out. And
Bees
you
like
want to
it.
do it before it goes to flower like that.
Yeah, bees do like it, what Josh just said.
Yep.
But I've been pulling that up out of
Yep.
mine.
Because it's all over everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's all over my beds too. It's a cool season weed, and they come out early. That's what they're doing.
Then they go away.
Yep.
And then they're gone. All right, our second photo comes from Kay Matthews. My little red maple has 2 major limbs. Could I or should I train the limbs to grow together or cut one of them off? Or option number 3, do nothing. So option 1, braid them together. Option 2, take one off. Option 3, let it go.
Okay, so this is my opinion. Honestly, if you did nothing, this plant would be fine. Okay, it's fine. It's living. It's got 2 main stems. This happens. It happens in nature. If a young plant is coming up and say a deer comes in and tops it out, it's going to send out 2 other stems, and that plant's going to grow, and it's going to be fine. If you are okay with it, let it be. If that's me and that's my plant, I look at that one stem and I see that it's nice and straight, whereas the other one's a little bit crooked. I'm going to take that crooked one and I'm going to let that single one just be.
Yep.
That's me. I'm taking it right at the dirt.
Yeah.
That's
And,
just
and then at that point, if you took that crooked one out, you might go back and cut it back the top of the remaining one about a third of the way back, which will induce some nice branching to thicken up the canopy. You know, the one thing you do notice about it is that the canopy from the ground to the first set of limbs is pretty high. So you want to start getting some structure so that you hopefully within the next couple of years begin to develop some shade from it. Right now it's a little spindly looking, but I agree with you, Austin. I like the straighter one for that particular type of tree. I think it's just going to look better in the long haul.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a question from a very special viewer named Renee. And Renee says, good morning. Could you please talk about myrtle as a native alternative to boxwood, inkberry as well?
Well, you're talking about
Myrtle.
Myrtle being God, I'm drawing a blank here. I can talk about inkberry.
Inkberry. Yeah.
Wax myrtle. That's what you're talking
There
about.
you go.
Yeah. Wax myrtle is planted extensively like in Memphis. You know, Renee, you honestly don't see too many here in Middle Tennessee. We do sell it, but it's kind of more, I think it's a zone
Marginal.
7. Yeah, it's kind of right on the line here. But like I said, you just don't see wax myrtle very often here. But I do think we should use it a little bit more. It's a cool plant. It gets kind of big. Inkberry holly is a native holly that can handle some wet feet. And it's also annoying, like I've talked about before. It's not like boxwood. It is. Got sticks at the base and going up to leaves. So if you can handle that, do it. Plant stuff out in front of inkberry holly, okay? Plant some dwarf things out in front.
All right, circling back
we still
to the
have
photo
photos.
portion.
Photo portion, back around. All right, so this comes from Jack Lynn. I have 2 of these in a container, which is gardenia. I think he's going to bring it up. We're about to see it. I was planning on putting them in the ground this year after having them in containers for several years. They survived the extreme temperature drop a couple Christmases ago, but the snow and cold this year hit them hard. The leaves, as you can see, are very burned. The stems seem to be flexible and have some life. Are they gone? Should I give them up or hang on to them like Austin did with his boxwoods?
Hope springs eternal.
Those leaves look bad, not gonna lie.
They
now,
do.
like you said, if the stems feel like they have life in them, then certainly leave it. I mean, don't get rid of it. Yeah, we don't know what spring's gonna bring. We have to wait. Gardenia's gonna leaf out a little bit later than most things anyway. So those leaves that are on there though are whacked. They're not coming back. They're not ever gonna look good again. So you could peel those off if you want and simply leave them on and watch new growth flush past that, which I think it probably will. If it's been with you for a number of years, then it seems like it's got a nice root system. And it's gonna be okay. But yeah, it got whacked. It got a little chilly for gardenia this year. For sure.
And even at the very best, gardenias are temperamental. They are.
Yeah.
My goodness. I mean, so to get one that's has grown as well as that one is no small feat. I'd say almost certainly you can go ahead and cut that halfway back. That's what I would do, and get ready to fertilize it with an organic like Hollytone, something like that, to help stimulate some new growth. I would guess it likely will come out, but again, even those that are called hardy gardenias, we're still on the fringe area in Middle Tennessee. So a little further south, they don't get hit nearly as hard as they do here. So that's, but if I'd say there's a really good chance it's going to come back out because the root system almost certainly is not affected.
Seems like taking the leaves off would also allow it to get more sun down where you're going to get the new growth from, right, Austin?
Yeah, I would think.
And if you cut it halfway back, those leaves are gone.
Yep, that's right.
Those leaves are gone. Yeah, you
All
don't
right.
have to strip them off.
And a couple extra
That's a
photos,
tiny
man.
picture.
That is a very tiny photo. This is from Pam Eldridge. Also, this was them a few weeks ago. Sorry we took so long to get this image up, but they are transplanting a yellow magnolia. I think it's a yellow bird. This is what she said. So
Look at that root. Is that a root I'm seeing?
yeah, that's a root.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a lot.
y'all are doing it.
Good job, Pam.
The
And
tidy
David.
gardener is taking care of it, and I'm wondering now: is that magnolia blooming? Because we've got a yellow magnolia. We got some tulip magnolias on our lot that are starting to bloom.
Oh,
They're
definitely.
See
gorgeous.
buds on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that concludes
Our photo portion of the
the
show.
photo
Show and
show.
tell, as it were.
So we got a question in live from Peggy. When do you expect to get your roses in? It's going to be a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's usually you know what's funny? Her name's Peggy Martin.
No way.
There's a Peggy Martin rose. Peggy. When we get those in,
Peggy,
you better come out
gotta
here and
get
get
one of
you
those
one.
roses.
It's a climbing rose, a Peggy Martin. It's been around forever. It's a good rose to
pretty
grow,
one.
and it's your name. First couple weeks of April is whenever we get those roses in. So come on out and get you a Peggy Martin rose. My God, it's great.
Yeah, come
David,
on out.
where are we?
You know what? We know because the roses haven't come in yet, but that will be happening very soon. There have been a lot of things come in. And of course, where I'm talking about is here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where, we're a Nashville tradition since 1932. My grandmother founded our business over on 26th in Charlotte. And ever since, we've been bringing Middle Tennessee and Nashville area the finest selection of plant material anywhere. And in addition to fine plant material, all the things that you expect to find to go with it, be it containers, the best line of soils. Of course, I'm talking about Earth Mix Garden products.
Mm-hmm.
And we have horticulturalists and specialists at every area. If you want to talk about ornamental grasses, you can talk to Bridget, and I'm going to tell you something. That lady knows her grasses incredibly well. Being a Midwestern girl from Nebraska, she is very passionate about grasses. So if you want to get that level of interest, you're going to get that from no matter who you talk to here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We do a sampling of it here on Saturday mornings. But whether you're talking to Ben Trest, which you've probably seen Ben on some of our Bates Nursery Botanical Boot Camp segments, Ben's a wealth of knowledge. Shannon, and of course you've got Austin, Owen, and the general manager himself, Adam Chapman, as well as a host
Ryan,
of other
too,
folks.
yeah.
So throughout all departments, come see us. We're here because we don't do anything else, Josh. We
Really?
only do horticulture. We don't do,
Light
the
bulbs?
plumbing we do is related to watering plants.
Oh,
We don't
okay.
sell plumbing. So we have to really know our stuff because that's all we do here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And we've worked hard to continue to develop our facilities, even on a day like today where it might look a little iffy. You can come inside, don't have to worry about it raining.
No.
We've got a lot of things to look at, including Japanese maples and all manner of shade plants, all the perennials. We've got all manner of things getting ready to roll in every week by week as we roll into spring. Our palette of plants that we have to offer, including annuals and perennials, fruit trees, ornamental trees, conifers, broadleaf evergreens, ground covers, you name it, we have it at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And Caroline and I have been talking about, or she's actually mentioned to me that she wants to do a monthly little reminder list of what you need to be thinking about with respect to your indoor plants. So look for that in the Inside the Garden newsletter that I write every week. So that'll be a new little feature. We're going to figure out how to introduce that and give you, those of you who are really focused on that part of your garden, is the indoor part. We're going to help you keep everything in mind you need to keep in mind with respect to that. So, and speaking of my newsletter, you can go to the website and you just scroll down a little bit and you'll see right there, it's the newsletter sign up, put your name, your email address, and check that you actually do want it and click subscribe. It'll come to your inbox once a week. We don't send it out multiple times. We don't share that information with anyone. it is strictly from me to you, and hopefully give you something enlightening and perhaps mildly entertaining at the same time. So check that out at batesnursery.com, and our entire inventory is searchable online. So don't forget that. And we'll invite you to come see us. We are now open on Sundays from noon until 4, Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So come see us. We've got plenty of spacious free parking. That's a big project. I know everyone, but mostly me, is glad to have behind us.
Well, we're all reaping the benefits this year.
Yeah, so it should make things a lot easier
It's cool,
as we go
folks.
through this spring to have enough really good parking area and don't have the dust.
Yeah.
So come see us, Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932. And thanks for giving us a couple of minutes to talk about that and help you in your gardening efforts. We really do try to do it all with regards to things for your garden and your landscape. So come see us.
Let's talk about what we are bringing in to beautify Nashville with What's in Room with Caroline.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we brought a lot of blooming things in. We went with a pink-white theme today. So we've got a lot of blooming peaches in the studio right now. We've got some very small little cute patio peaches down in front of us and then right here in the center. So if you're looking for a dwarf tree, something that's not going to get really big and is stunning in the spring, I would say this would be a great option. So if you don't have a lot of space, if you want to do something in a container, I love patio peaches. Love them. And look at these tiny little ones that we got in. Adorable. Cute. The blooms going all the way up the stem. There are some that are more white and there are some that are a little bit darker. Austin and I were actually talking on the lot the other day, or I guess yesterday, about how some have these dark purple leaves. Some have green. Austin wishes that the ones with the purple leaves had the more vibrant blooms that the ones with the green leaves have. But it's just not how that works.
So what color are these going to be, you think?
Purple leaves on those.
Purple leaves.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of like the white blooms with the purple leaves. I'm not mad at it. Oh my gosh, look at this shot. Look at all these. Oh, look at that.
Oh, the fadeaway.
Tyler, wow. We need some harp music behind
Tyler's
us right
working
now.
magic.
And then down in front, we've got Candy Tuft. Great ground cover. Look at those white blooms. And then in front of that, we've got some creeping phlox, which I love. I actually planted some that sat in a 4-pea pot all winter on the side in one of my garden beds that I forgot about. And I found it still alive, stuck it in the ground on Monday. It's going to be just fine. Wow. And then, of course, we had to bring in boxwood because they are flushing right now out on the lot. They are absolutely gorgeous. We've got green velvet in, which is my personal favorite. I have a lot planted. I know Austin likes that one as well. Really, really cute. And then behind us, under the TV in the corners, we've still got some blooming peaches right above my head. And then I believe this one's Green Tower, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So we got some tall ones in. If you're looking for privacy and you're a boxwood lover, I mean, come on down, get them. We got some that are even larger than these. I did not want to lift them up and bring them into the green room, so we went with some that were a little bit shorter.
So it's the same. There's a patio peaches or the bigger
Those
pot?
are not patio peaches. That is honey tree.
Honey Babe.
Honey Babe. That's a honey babe.
God, I love that name.
There's some really cute peach names. We have a lot of different varieties in right now that are going to be different heights, different sizes. And a lot of them are in full show right now back on our tree lot. Like when you walk into the nursery, if you look across diagonal towards the back, you can see them blooming. They will call your name and say, get out here. Josh, come by me. Come look at me. Josh, Carrie, get out here and get this. But yeah, that's what we've got in room. And there's also a lot going on around town. On my drive in, I noticed a lot that was just... What's in bloom?
With Austin.
Hey, what's in bloom? A lot of things are blooming and a lot of trees actually right now, okay? Yep. Let's start with the small ones, though. We're going to start hellebore, still going strong. Them shade-loving evergreens, got to love it. Daffodils still blooming their heads off, doing great. Hey, forsythia still going yellow and looking beautiful. We've got quince this week, y'all.
Quince.
Big, round, blobby shrubs that are blooming. That's quince, and they're looking good. Moving on, let's go to those fruit trees. God, fruit trees are in bloom, y'all. Plums, for sure the first. Pears are blooming right now. And peaches, as we brought into the studio. All of our patio peaches as well. Peaches are stunning. God, I love a good peach tree when it's in bloom. They are great. So a lot of fruits happening right now. Hey, Josh, you love this. Bradford pears are in show. And they are making my allergies horrible.
Oh.
No. I sneezed like 20 times last night. I was driving home and I had the windows down because it felt great. It's the Bradford pears. I swear it is. They're making my allergies go.
They
nuts.
made you cry last week.
Yeah, they did. Thanks for that.
Rethink the stink, folks.
Yep. Okame cherry, still blooming, but almost done. Yoshino cherry, which is the pink in bud, white in bloom cherry, just started, literally like yesterday. So I'll be talking about this for probably a couple weeks because they're just starting. They are showstoppers. Everybody loves Yoshino cherry. They're fantastic. I love them too. Hey, red buds are starting. They're not like fully full show.
Fully full
Yeah,
show.
I went far on that one. But they are showing color on their buds. Hey, those old country sand cherries are blooming, y'all. These are these small, shrubby cherry trees that are blooming pink in people's landscapes, typically in like real country old yards. Those are going off right now. I love me a good sand cherry. And then, hey, your magnolias are going. The yellowbird, the Jane magnolia, the star magnolia, all of those look great right now. Hey, after tomorrow night, they won't.
No.
Every year they get whacked early, and tomorrow night's like 28, 29, something like that. They're going to be gone. I got a feeling they're going to be gone.
You just answered Annette's question.
Oh,
There it is,
Annette.
Annette.
What is it, Annette?
Annette's question was about my saucer magnolia is halfway to bloom, hoping tomorrow night does not hurt them.
I think it's going to.
Halfway?
Yeah,
halfway bloom.
my Jane magnolia is halfway budded.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
won't
if it's
hurt
only
the
halfway.
It will not hurt the tree.
Yeah, no,
the
it's
tree
not going
will
to hurt your tree.
survive. It's just going to kill the flowers.
It
And, you know,
is.
3 years out of 4, that is the case.
It
And
is.
This probably will not be the exceptional year. This will be the year they get nailed yet again.
Seems like, like you said, 75% of the time it's going to. Man, we pass a big one going home every day. That big,
That
big,
huge one
big
at the
one.
bottom of the hill that's
Yes.
just full show. I
Yes.
should get a picture of it on my way home today.
Oh,
You
God.
better.
Before
You
that
better.
frost comes in. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one this big. And the blooms are so like tight together. And it's just like I have one at home and it's gorgeous, but it's this one.
More sporadic.
Yes.
Yeah,
And this
and-
one doesn't get as much sun as mine.
I know.
Mine is in full sun all day.
Yeah, that one's been there about 100 years.
Okay.
Mine has not.
I asked them.
100.
You pulled up their driveway, you knocked on that door, and you said, "Excuse me, how long has this tree been here?"
Yeah,
Hey,
they said,
neighbor.
They said about 100.
That's the
About
best way to
100
find
years.
out what they are if you don't know.
That's
Just be
true.
careful.
Hey, Austin,
Sir.
I got a question for you. Give me another common name for sand cherry. This is the one that I knew growing up. Now, they started calling them sand cherries later on. You got another common name for them?
I don't. That's the only thing I know them as. You tell me. I need to know.
Sistina plum.
The Sistina plum. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So, you know, because you know, cherries and plums are all same family, so they're inherently more similar than different. So, but anyway, Sistina plum is the other name, but it's the same.
I'm sure I've
Same
seen them,
thing.
but I just cannot place it. I mean,
You know what they
shrubby
are.
looking.
It is, yeah.
Red leaf, little shrub.
Pretty much, yeah. A little shrubby tree. As they age, they get to be more tree-like,
Okay.
but they're very, very much so shrubby right
Yeah.
now. But
I was kind of wondering what those are because I see
Kind of
them
a short,
all over the
a
place.
short life plant, though. You know, if
Yeah.
you get a decade or 12 years out of them, you're probably have gotten pretty good mileage. They don't last a long time.
no,
All right. Is that what you got in bloom?
that's what's in bloom, people.
Nice. Beautiful. All right. We got some live questions in that I want to make
Yes.
sure we get to. Let's see. Joan on our Facebook page says, when do you fertilize clematis and endless summer hydrangeas?
Right about now, I'd say. I mean, plants are getting ready to actively start growing, so that's whenever they really want to use that fertilizer. So let's go ahead and get it dropped. There's no harm in doing it now. We're getting into spring, people.
We are getting into spring. All right. And then we have some questions on our YouTube page. I have tried gardenia so many times with very sketchy success. They do really well for me in the winter, but as soon rain comes, they look so bad. They are so finicky. So Gardenias, I love them. I don't try them. My mom has had one for years. That woman can grow the stuff that no one else can grow. It's amazing. And then second question from same viewer, which boxwoods don't have the smell? That's the only thing I don't like about boxwoods.
I walked in this morning into the green room and I said, it smells very boxwoody in here. Most boxwoods have that smell, y'all. I'm sorry. It's just part of it. But the Korean types, so like little...
Asiatics.
Yeah, like the Asian type boxwoods and wintergreen and winter gem, those don't have the smell near as bad, but they do get bigger and they grow faster. So get ready to have to prune those if you want to keep those because they get kind of big.
And those were from Samara Dixon. And then Sam Boyette says Hyacinth is doing the work out here this week.
Oh, yes, Sam. Thank
That's
you.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to write that down. Yes, Hyacinth is beautiful,
And
y'all.
I put Colin's photo up on the Gardening Inside Out Facebook and Instagram page that we were talking about last week, and lamb's ear behind it. So
Nice.
that photo is up. But thank you guys for all those live questions.
Yeah.
All right. We've still got some time to get a couple more in.
Sure we do.
Yellow Lady Banks looking dead at the top, but green at the bottom. Should I cut it back?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if it's looking dead on top, go ahead and cut it.
Go ahead
New
and
stuff's
cut it.
coming. Lady Banks is a vigorous grower, if you know. They typically only bloom about one time, though, a year. It's very heavy when they bloom, but they're not like a repeat bloomer all that much, but growing machines. So go ahead and cut off that dead stuff. The new stuff's coming back with fury.
With fun and fury. My azaleas look anemic. Is there anything I can do?
Iron in your diet.
Iron.
Iron.
A lot of times iron is needed. But really, any basic fertilizer would help with that. Anytime you're seeing yellowing leaves.
What was it, Geritol, David?
No, well, the issue is pH.
Yeah.
And that if your pH is too high for acid loving plants, no matter how much fertilizer you put on there, they're unable to make use of it because it is tied up due to it being out of the range of where the plant can grab it. So that's why if you're using an acid loving plant food or a soil acidifier, that lowers the pH. It has sulfur in it in some form. It could be just elemental sulfur, or it could be aluminum sulfate or magnesium sulfate, something that lowers the pH. And what that does is that makes the fertility that is in the soil more available. So generally on azaleas in particular, when you see that yellowing, it's not always a sign that they are it is a sign they're deficient, but the soil may actually have enough. It's just that the pH is too high. So that's where I would first check, is to make sure you can get the numbers down where they need to be. That way the fertilizer is available to them and not blocked off because it simply can't take it up. When the pH is up in the, say, 7 or above range, it just can't have access to it. It needs to be down around at least down to 6.5, if not down to 6 or 5.5. So there's that.
Okay, time for a hydrangea question.
Okay.
Only one again this week.
Okay.
Will hydrangea live on a north-facing wall?
Yeah, I mean, depending on which one.
The shady kind.
The shady kind,
I
yeah.
gotta put it in the ground instead of on the wall.
Instead of on the wall. You're right, David.
Yeah, get those endless summer collection. Get the arborescens type, which is like what me and David grow, which is the Annabelles and the Incrediballs. Those will do fine in that shadier location. Yeah, they're going to be great. Do it.
Do it.
Everybody loves hydrangeas. Everybody.
I love hydrangeas.
Who
They're
doesn't?
Gorgeous. So many different kinds, too. Okay, best practice for keeping powdery mildew at bay. I'm already seeing it.
Oh, gosh. What are you seeing?
Over the weather.
They didn't say.
Oh, I wonder what it's on already. This is early for
A little
powdery
cool,
mildew.
too,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if you have overwintering.
Lilacs, maybe.
Maybe.
But there's no foliage on those.
I know, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
mine
think.
doesn't have any leaves.
I wonder
yet.
if it's like perennials from last year or something that like leftover.
Could
any
be on
leftover.
Heuchera gets it.
Heuchera does get it bad. Any leftover foliage, y'all, that is up and has that on it, get rid of that now. You're planning for new growth in the spring. So anything that's old that has a leftover pathogen on it is only going to spread as the spring goes on. So clean that stuff up. That's what I'm assuming is what's happening is leftover foliage that has powdery mildew already. I hate
Could
powdery
be it.
mildew.
Right.
God, I hate it. It's annoying.
Oh, no. He's shutting down because he hates it so much.
Come on.
All right. Are there any varieties of elephant ear that will survive a Nashville winter in ground? Yes, there are. I had one in ground for years. I transplanted some stuff and I transplanted that with it. Now it's growing everywhere. And I'm so sorry, but the variety is not in my brain right now.
I mean, elephant ear a lot of times perennializes easy here. If you just get those kind of green leaf varieties that,
Mine was just the large,
that large green leaf variety. Yeah. What variety it is? There's so many nowadays. But
generally at the end of the season, what my grandmother used to do is she would cut all the stalks off before the freeze would kill them and lay them down and mulch the bulbs with the actual foliage. And then she would put some kind of like leaves, on top of that. Now that's back old school method. If you didn't want to do all that, you could just put actual like hardwood mulch or something over the top. They tend to freeze out if it's a really hard winter.
Yeah.
Didn't have this winter because we had 8 inches of snow over the top when the weather was cold, so shouldn't be an issue.
Real quick, Barbara asks, should small trees in pots be fertilized?
Yes. In the spring, do it now. Just get a general fertilizer.
Yeah.
Get some Osmocote to put on top of the dirt.
Perfect.
It slowly feeds through the season. Do that.
Very good. Hey,
we're out of time.
Yeah, the music means it's time to go. But next Saturday morning, we'll be back at 0800 CDT. So get up at 2 o'clock this morning or tomorrow morning and set your clock back, and then keep going and keep going and keep going backwards as you go, and you'll finally
come
get
out and see us. We're here to 4 o'clock today, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Noon to 4 tomorrows. We'll be right here. Come see us.
All right, for everybody here at Gardening Inside Out, we thank you for participating. Like, share, subscribe, do everything you can. Tell your friends, tell the neighbors. We're here for you because we do it every Saturday morning and all through the week. So we love doing it. We'll be here next week for another hour of Gardening Inside Out. See you then.